So, hello everyone. Hello, Victor. I hope you can see me and hear me. Okay, we can't hear Victor yet, but hopefully you can hear me instead. Please let us know how the stream is doing in the chat. So if there's any problems or anything, just let us know. We don't stream that often, so it's all kind of new. We're using Restream, and I think it should be going, but we'll see. So first of all, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for being here during our amazing 2-year birthday party, which is completely unbelievable when I say it. I never expected Nmaker to be here 2 years later, and now we're only getting started. Yeah, I'm Patrick. I'm the founder of Nmaker. I started this whole journey 2 years ago together with Fahim, who you will also see later today. And we, developed NFT Maker version 1 back in the day, which was one of the very first times that you could actually do something with your ADA instead of just staking it or sending it from A to B. So I'm very proud that, today we're here and we've gone from like a small 1-week side project to this huge tool that Nmaker is nowadays. And yeah, Victor, can you talk? Can we hear you?
Yeah, I think I'm good now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Cool.
Perfect. How are you, and who are you? Maybe for the viewers as well.
Yeah, well, I'm doing great. Had a pretty good morning. My coffee going. So, what is today? Tuesday already. Yeah. So, who am I? I'm the communications and I guess marketing manager from the social media side for Nmaker for a little bit over a year now. Yeah, so that's who I am.
Cool. Yeah, it's also kind of unbelievable that we have been working together so long, and you've been part of Nmaker for such a long time, which is really cool. Really enjoy that time together. So yes, so we have quite an agenda today. So I think it's a good idea if we just show that quickly. So I think you should be able to see it now.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. So this is the agenda that we have today. So we have quite a few things prepared. We're gonna go over in a bit to NFT Pal and do like a live demo and an announcement, because I think for most of you it doesn't really you don't really know what NFT Pal is yet in many cases. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be amazing. Then we're going to talk about the Nmaker custom stores and where we are at the moment. And a lot of stuff is happening there. And we have a pre-recorded video from Fahim showing us a little bit about the roadmap and what's going on. Then we will go over to IMX, one of our favorite partners doing digital identity solutions in the space. And we're going to have a short discussions with them. And then we are going to view a little bit about Rogue Galaxies and what the development status is, with the game and what's going on there, together with Yves, the main game developer of Rogue Galaxies. And then we will talk with Kristian, our COO, and talk a little bit about the partnerships and what we've done this last year, and what we will be doing the remaining of, or the next year, I guess. And after that, we're gonna basically have another special guest, Ryan from Project NEWM, who we launched a marketplace together with on last Friday, and just going to be talking a little bit about their project and what they are doing, and also how we're collaborating and working on the marketplace and all this kind of stuff. And then at the end, we're going to have a short Q&A just to, I don't know, close it off with some questions and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, we'll see. It's all pretty spontaneous, to be honest. So things might change, things might break. We're open to anything, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So how do I turn off the timetable? Here we go. Okay, perfect. Cool, Victor. So tell me about your morning and tell me about Nmaker. What made you decide to join Nmaker back in the day, and what do you think about where we are today?
Well, my mornings are pretty much the same as always. You guys are all in Europe, so you guys are pretty much at the aft end of your day, work day. So I wake up and I start like 8 in the morning over here, sometimes 9. So I kind of pick up everything that you guys have done, and the communication is always interesting there towards the end of the day. But yeah, morning is pretty good. I mean, I these past week went by really quick. It's just been really busy on Nmaker's end, and I'm just seeing Cardano just really step it up lately. We just got Lace today. I tested it out, and I'm pretty impressed with it. The UX UI is just, it's remarkable, and I just love the design and how easy it is and to find everything. I found everything very quickly. Of course, there's a couple bugs here and there, but that's expected for the first day of launch, and I'm sure they'll get those fixed. But yeah, I'm excited for just everyone to have like a really good wallet that everyone can come around and use, and it kind of has a mix of like everything, kind of like some really pro features and just ease of use for new users, but also just the support in general from like a big team. But yeah, what attracted me to Nmaker? Geez, I've been with like Cardano. I've been in Cardano for like, I guess this like 2 or 3 years now, I guess, since like right before Shelly, and that's when it was just what do we have back then? It was just the one wallet that we had that I don't use anymore. What's it called again? Dataless. Yeah, so it was just dataless, and I guess I got onto Twitter around the same time for the first time. And it was kind of a bad time because that's when it was like COVID and everything was happening, and it was kind of insane. But then I found Cardano, YouTube, Charles Hoskins' video, and then yeah, I guess I just kind of found this like of crypto, and I found a bunch of people that were attracted to Cardano the same way I was. The whole the spiel of that Charles gives, and just the whole decentralization process and how much better it is. And back then it was just like a belief and speculation of like, okay, he talks the talk, right? And let's see if he walks the walk. And it was just like anything else, it was a big risk, to get into crypto at such an early stage when there was really nothing developed. But yeah, like 2 or 3 years later, he's walking the walk. I mean, IOHK and everyone's walking the walk, and we're seeing everything that they said is being pushed. So what attracted me to Nmaker was just was you, man. Basically, just I don't know how we met. I think it was in a Twitter space, and somewhere in the comments, everyone just chat about Cardano and how excited we were.
Yeah,
for the
I think it was one of the Unsig spaces actually. You were
Yeah.
a part of the Unsig community back in the day, and that's how we kind of met, and then it grew from there. But yeah, I'm also super excited about Lace. Actually, I just screen shared quickly. We already integrated it, which I'm very proud of. I think we were the very first integration of Lace, which is really cool. And I feel like the space has progressed a lot in the last year. Like you're completely right. We only had Daedalus, and then Yoroi, and then basically Nami as the very first wallet that was able to interact with dApps and stuff, and now we have so many wallets. We even have Exodus as like a cross-chain wallet integrating Cardano dApps, and that's just really cool. I think the tools are getting more professional, are getting better and better, and the whole space is just evolving and growing at the moment.
Yeah, you were talking about Exodus. I'm a big fan of Exodus. I mean, they're on Algorand, which is pretty cool. I mean, they share a lot of the similar ideology that Cardano does. But yeah, I mean, it's a great product. I love the wallets. I love the sound of the tokens when you receive coins, and it's just it's a good feeling, and just the UX is remarkable. I love it. So yeah, great for mass adoption because multi-chain wallets are the future, and it just makes a lot of sense.
I agree. Cool. Then I think we're not gonna hold it off for too much longer. I'm just gonna share quickly the timetable again. So essentially, we're gonna start now with NFT Pal, and I even prepared a nice picture for that. So will I find the right picture? No, that's not the right picture. No, that's also not the right picture. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, NFT Pal Live Demo coming up soon. So we will basically talk to the two founders of NFT Pal now, and talk a little bit about their project and what we're doing together with Nmaker, of course. And they will give us a live demo. So I'm going to bring them up on stage. They've been patiently waiting here in the back room, and yeah, and then we'll progress to the next steps. So how do I turn off this picture again? Here we go. And I'm just going to add Miro and Ryan. Here we go. Welcome. How are you today? Oh, I see you have the perfect t-shirt.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Oh, you too. I feel so like underrepresented now. I should have worn something green. Yeah, but great to see you both here. Thank you for joining. I'm very excited to show the world a little bit about what we've been doing together. And yeah, maybe you can start just with a quick introduction of who you are and what you've been doing, and then also a little bit about NFT Pal before we dive right into it.
Sure. Do you want to take that, Miro, or should I?
Yeah. Thank you for having us, Patrick. Very excited to join in. Also, happy birthday. Very excited for Nmaker, and we've been following along with Nmaker all along. I feel, especially Ryan. Like you mentioned, most people won't really know who we are. I'd say 99.9% of people won't know who we are, but we've also been around for the past 2 years working on various things. I will say that I'm nervously looking at my internet connection state. So if I come across choppy or something, sorry about that. I have to reconsider dropping and joining in again.
No problem at all. It's only your picture. Your voice is very clear. So yeah, thanks for being here for sure.
Maybe I'll give it a shot to rejoin. Sorry about that. We are set up though in a redundancy, so Ryan is definitely able to show some stuff as well.
I can give a quick quick little description of what NFT Pal is in the meantime. I guess, Miro, if you need to rejoin.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, so NFT Pal, I was a dev. I was helping a bunch of projects with their minting NFTs on Cardano, and a common thread actually that I found was that a lot of people think about the minting platform and stuff, and there's Nmaker is a great platform for minting, and one of the issues actually that I found was a lot of artists and creators had trouble actually just coming up with the collection itself. Like, how do you produce a collection of, like, let's say 10,000 NFTs or 5,000 NFTs? Make sure that the metadata is correct. Make sure that all of them are unique. You don't have any duplicates. How do you kind of look into see all the traits that you've created? It's actually takes a lot of time, and it's like an iterative process, I think, a lot of times. And if you're doing that through code, I think a lot of creators today are using code, or they're using a developer to help them. But I find that loop is a very kind of long loop where you're kind of just constantly tweaking things and then regenerating all your images and trying. And also a lot of times it takes a lot of coding know-how. So after going through a bunch of those projects, I talked to my buddy Miro, and we decided to create this platform that is basically a no-code solution to creating these kinds of projects, where someone can just come in, like, you have the artwork ready, you just kind of drag and drop stuff, and you can create your whole collection just on a web page. No downloads, nothing. It's just a simple web page you go to, and you can create your whole collection and go from there. And we've done it so that we can easily integrate with Nmaker, and that's kind of the demo that we have planned for you today.
Cool. Yeah. So and maybe to add to that, the first time we actually met was at CNFTCon, right? So
yes, yeah.
I went up to your booth and I saw what you were doing, and I was immediately drawn to it because I think it's a great product that solves a lot of problems for creators that want to launch their NFT collections. NFT Maker, or Nmaker rather, is all about basically making NFTs accessible to everyone. And that's both on the customer side, on the people that buy the NFTs and mint the NFTs, but it also has to be on the creator side, right? You need to make it as easy as possible to launch your own NFT collection, to create your own NFTs. And we're very much focused on like the technology and the actual minting and the blockchain blockchain connection, but we're not so much focused on the creation of the images, right? And that's kind of where you come in. So I'm extremely happy about this, and I'm extremely happy that we are partnering, and I think this will be a very fruitful partnership. And and Miro is back. Welcome back, Miro.
Likewise.
So I think we should actually just go ahead and jump right into it and show the viewers a little bit of what NFT Pal is and how it works. And I think whoever of you wants to do that, you should be able to share your screen here.
I think Miro is going to go ahead and do the first part of the demo.
Perfect.
Give this a shot.
Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna add this. Okay, there we go. It's a little bit blurry. maybe I'm gonna disable your camera.
Yeah, we need to, especially up our streaming game.
Mm.
You definitely don't stream as much. Is it still blurry for you, Patrick? There?
Yeah, it's very blurry
Blur-
and it's not really moving. Maybe
Right.
maybe it's a better idea if Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah,
sorry,
maybe
but
maybe
Ryan,
maybe
give it a
maybe why
go.
don't I give it a shot? No worries. Yeah. Let me just do this.
In the meantime, I'm gonna play around with the controls here because it's actually quite cool. You can do a lot of stuff with Restream. Okay. So many people in the comments also congratulating us for the birthday. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Honestly, when we started Nmaker back in the day, we thought it would be a silly, nice side project, and we never expected it to blow up like this. And now, 2 years later, we're still here and we're still building tools to make NFTs accessible, which is just blowing my mind, and it really changed my life and many other people's life as well.
Are you guys seeing my screen, Patrick?
Yes, we can see it. It's also very
is it
blurry, but
really? That's interesting. Do I need to change anything on my end here? Because I'm pretty sure my internet connection is.
It's a good
Let
question.
me just check something. Oh, so maybe it wasn't Miro after all.
No, maybe it wasn't Miro. Maybe I can change some stuff. That doesn't
Should
seem
I
like
just
it.
maybe what I'll do is I'll just switch off my camera. Sometimes that helps. I'll just try that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, and it's also showing you as having a bad connection.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Turn off your camera. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Except my thing here is frozen. One sec.
So this is all live, as you can see. Which
I know. Oh, the demo gods are not with us today.
Yeah, Ryan's completely frozen. Looks kind of like a zombie right now.
Yeah,
kind of cool.
But maybe I can already answer some questions in the chat while Ryan is trying to turn off his camera. So the sheriff is asking if NFT Pal is a part of Nmaker Studio or a separate service. Yeah, so basically, NFT Pal is a separate service developed by Ryan and Miro. And what we've decided to do is we've decided to work together closely to basically enable a perfect workflow from NFT Pal to Nmaker Studio, so that you can, go in there, create your NFTs, click on upload to Nmaker Studio, and that's it. And it's right in there. So it will not be a direct part of Nmaker Studio. It's still a separate product and it's a separate team, and it doesn't belong to Nmaker in any way. But we want to, bring the projects as closely together as possible, because we think that it can benefit everyone who wants to use it. I think it's working now, Ryan. By the way.
Yeah, can you see it looks a little. I can see the preview. It looks like it's okay now, right?
Yeah, looks okay.
Yeah. Okay. What I'm gonna do is let me go. So this is NFT Pal. When you go into NFT Pal, it's a browser-based. It's basically a completely browser-based web application. When you go into projects, what you can do is you can create a new project. I'm going to show you this really quick. So you can create an empty project, or you can start with a demo project. I think Miro had a better setup. What I'm going to do is I'll create a demo, and what it does is it kind of gives you like a base to play with, just to understand the product and how it works. And if you've created an NFT collection before, you'll be a little bit familiar with this. So the name of this project is called a Mean project demo. We had a project called Means. It was our first NFT project. And so we kind of, in honor of that, decided to make our demo project part of this as well. If you go into this, you can see that it's very similar to Photoshop. You have layers and you have like the images within each layer. So in this example, there's two characters. Let me just actually just focus on one for now. You can see that there's, you have like your background, you have the body, hair, pants. So this character is composed of many different layers, and each layer has many images within it. you can see on the top left there's like a preview image, and if you wanted to, for example, just move things around, like I could move the background up here. You can layer things pretty much as you would in any kind of like image editing software like Photoshop or something, where you can layer things in, and you can
And
see
if I
the preview,
can,
what it looks like.
if I can just jump in there, you saw, as Ryan dragged the background around and sort of put it in the wrong spot, and then some assets look like they disappeared. It's because the background was now covering them. But
Yeah.
that's one of the features here. So that preview is just updating as you do it. It's something we've built to be as intuitive as possible, and one of those things was just to constantly let you see what the changes are as you work on the project. So as you're uploading, as you create new layers, as you're adding new images to them, as you're reordering things, you kind of see a preview of what your NFT is going to look like.
Right. Yeah, and then within each of these, like you can see, there's the different images. There's like this guy has a blue T-shirt, a tan T-shirt, a white T-shirt. You can adjust, so you can name it whatever you like. I'll just change this to like blue, and each image has a rarity weight associated with it. So this is how you control how rare or how often something shows up in your collection. Like actually, for the sake of it, let me put this down to like 2. And you can see the numbers displayed here. I'll just change that one for now. And so what you would do is you'd set up your whole project. In this case, I had a demo project, but if you wanted to, you could have, you would have your own images. You would just literally just drag and drop into this box over here, and it would take all your images and display it in this layering system. So just give me a second. So once you have all that stuff, I'm going to make the preview a little bit bigger. And the second step here is, once you've kind of like set everything up, you can go into this config screen. You can set your image width, your image height. You can call this, like, actually, let me just call this Nmaker. This is your NFT name, the prefix that goes before your NFT. And then you can put in like a specific happy. I'll do that. The next screen here is the collection. So once you've actually inputted all your stuff, you can see it generates the collection of all the images that you've, in our case, if I go here, let me just quickly show you this. There's 50 NFTs created for Joe and 50 NFTs created for Jane. So you have a total of 100 NFTs. If I click on the collection preview, you can see it's created a combination of all the different layers that you've put together and all the combinations, the hair, the shirts, the shorts. And on the left, it shows you the percentage that it worked out for each of your traits. If I click on one of these, like this one, for example, it shows you the attributes associated with that specific NFT. So you can see that NFT Pal kind of does all the hard work for you. You literally just drag and drop your images. You give it some kind of criteria. And by the way, I'm just going over some very high level stuff. There's a lot more to it. I'm just showing kind of like the main points. You would just bring your images, drag and drop stuff, and then it creates all the combinations for you. One interesting thing actually that maybe I should just point out here is, if you recall, I had set the strength for the blue shirt, like I had toned it down all the way to 2. So if you look at the collection preview, you can see the numbers that were generated. Like you can see the white T-shirt has 23 items, the tan has 23 here as well, but the blue shirt has only 4 because you kind of dial that down. And that kind of affects how, like I was saying, how often or rare something is.
If you want,
Am I
Ryan,
missing anything, Miro? Like, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say you could show by the organized by attributes if you wanted to show that real fast.
Right. Yeah, if you want to see all your attributes, how like it shows the number of attributes that were generated for each of your, I guess the traits or attributes, whatever you call them, and then the percentage of each of them. You can organize it by that or by layers. One feature that we have also is if you just wanted to like work out all your how each thing looks, there's even an export to CSV, because that just lets you kind of see There's a filtering on the left, but you could also kind of just put it into an Excel file, and you can see exactly all the different traits and attributes associated with your NFT collection. So let's say you're happy with all of this now. Like the next step, we have an integration with Nmaker, and this, if you click on this here, it says, okay, are you ready to upload to Nmaker? And we've made it super simple because the only two pieces of information you need are, I'm going to go over to the Nmaker test site. I've actually created a project inside Nmaker called Nmaker Birthday. And I've not really done anything special with this. I just created a template project. The only two pieces of information you need are an API key. And in Nmaker, if you click on Manage API keys, you can get it from here, the API keys. And the second piece of information is your project unique identifier, which is this number here. So I'm just going to paste this in to NFT Pal. I'll put in the project unique identifier. And the API key, I just got to grab that. So once you have that, it's ready to upload to Nmaker. So I'm going to just go ahead and click on upload. And what NFT Pal is doing right now is it's taking all your source images and it's generating the full resolution images and sending it to Nmaker. If you go to the preview, for example, this is really fast and snappy because this is just a preview image. It's not the full resolution image. But if we go to the upload now, it's actually generating the full resolution images and sending it to Nmaker. And if I go over to Nmaker right now, I can show you that in this project, let me just go. If you click on Manage Tokens, you can see the images coming through. It's uploading each of the NFTs to your project. And if I go to, let's say, show metadata, the metadata for your project, everything is kind of filled out for you. I don't know if, let me click on just see if the image shows up right now. This is being pinned to IPFS, so sometimes, there might be sometimes a bit of a delay when it's being pinned to IPFS. And you can see there's a progress bar here showing how many images have been uploaded so far. In the past, it's done it pretty fast. I'm not sure if I'm streaming and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, but
yeah, I think it's the streaming. But honestly, in my opinion, this is absolutely incredible. Because to recap, what you're doing here is you're literally like creating new images out of different layers in NFT Pal. And while you're creating them, you're immediately uploading them to Nmaker Studio, which means that you're like, after this, you are basically able to sell those NFTs in, like, I don't know, 30 seconds if you want to. You only have to set a price and that's it. And to me, that's really, bringing the whole user experience of creating NFTs to a whole new level, because it's so simple, right? And we're really we will be integrating this as tightly as possible into Nmaker, so that people can go to Nmaker and basically to NFT Pal and then just create their stuff, and then be able to start their sales in no time without having to code a single line of code, right? Write a single line of code, I guess, and without having to know anything about all the stuff that is going on in the background. That's really what it's about for us, to just make the entry barrier as low as possible.
Yeah, just to add to that, we're focusing on the collection creation part, like the actual art organization and the metadata, kind of everything you would do before you upload it to Nmaker. And our experience is built around the idea that you might iterate a little bit, you might do some quality control as you're creating your project and fine tuning. So these steps that Ryan went through, he went through it pretty fast there, but you might do a little bit of back and forth between some of these pages in NFT Pal. That said, if you had everything already sorted out, with this integration with Nmaker, you could go from you just have the art to you have a fully ready project ready for sale, in under an hour. That's what this experience will let you do.
Exactly. Right, yeah. That's amazing.
And in this example, the last step, you can see once it's finished uploading to Nmaker, you can pretty much then go to Nmaker and then do, set up your whitelist, set up your get your pay links and everything. You can see it's actually uploaded I had 100 NFTs and it's actually uploaded all of them with just a click of a button. And actually, I can see some of the preview images and stuff are coming through. Like this one is Nmaker 001. If I click on this now, maybe it should show up here. There you go. Yeah, and you can see within your collection preview, this is your image 1, and that's your actual fully your full resolution image on Nmaker. So you can actually make sure like your collection looks good. You can filter everything. You can see all your traits, everything before you even upload to Nmaker. And once you're ready, it's all there and it's good to go.
Super cool. I'm as I mentioned, a big fan just in general. So I'm very glad that we can work together and that we can bring this to the community. And I think a lot of people will really enjoy using NFT Pal. I have one question here in the chat actually from Ayanet. She asked what image formats are allowed to import.
Right now it's just PNG, but we are planning on implementing some other formats soon because PNG is the most popular one for creating layers and everything like that.
Makes sense, yeah.
So
that makes a lot of sense.
And we're very keen to get feedback on the project. So once we make this live, put it in people's hands. There are various things that we think are important and that maybe we should be implementing next. But we're definitely looking to hear back from the community, and we'll jump on whatever is most important to people.
Yep, I think that's basically how we do stuff as well at Nmaker. That we ship things fast and then hear the feedback from the community and iterate on that and try to make things better as with like actual feedback from users. That's always the best thing to do in my opinion. Yeah, I don't see Miro, but almost. Oh, there he is. Nice.
Okay, I'm back.
And Ryan is back as well. Cool. Yeah. Great to see you again. Cool. I think we're almost done with your demo, basically, or we are done with your demo. So I want to thank you again for joining the birthday live stream. Really exciting. I think this is going to be amazing. And yeah, do you have any last words for us, maybe?
Happy birthday! Excited. Can't wait to see what people build.
Yeah, as well, same here. Happy birthday! Thank you for the forum. So we'll get the technical issues worked out for the next one.
No problem at all.
With the stream, the site itself is looking good.
Yeah,
that's the important thing. The stream is number 2. Cool. Then thank you so much for joining. I wish you a great rest of the day, and then hopefully we will release some stuff to the public soon.
Thank you.
Goodbye, guys. So, Victor, what do you think? Was it your first time seeing it?
Yeah, it was the first time. And I think you showed me a link at one point, but I've never actually seen the full because it's not available to the public. So it was interesting when you showed. I just saw the front page and I was like, oh, this is cool. But after that display, I definitely see how it's going to make it easier for people to create NFTs. Especially since they can upload their own assets. Because I thought it was just like whatever they had on there, like you whatever. And I was like, okay, maybe everyone doesn't want those, but it's super cool. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's about uploading your own stuff. That's the cool thing about it. Yeah. Okay, cool. So let me take a look at the timetable again. So next up, we have the Nmaker Custom Stores roadmap from Fahim. He pre-recorded a short little video for us. The problem is we have a little bit too much time in the timetable between that and the IMAX updates. But yeah, maybe we'll try starting with the update quickly with the stores roadmap, and then I will show also a little bit of things in Nmaker Studio, which are live today, and talk a little bit about that, and then we'll get back to our next guest, which is Tim from IMAX. So let me disable the timetable, and now I'm going to try to start a video here, which I pre-uploaded, and I'm not sure if it's going to work, but we'll see. So let's try.
Hello and welcome everyone to the updates about the Nmaker store. I'm Fahim, I'm the designer of the project, and I'm going to show you a bit what has happened in the last few weeks and months and what to expect in the near future of the Nmaker store. One of the biggest updates was actually a decision that we took a few months ago, where we decided to not launch the Nmaker store as a public marketplace that would have competed with all the other marketplaces on Cardano, but actually to launch white label stores and really give projects the opportunity to have a spot where they can have their own branding running on their own domain with only their own policy IDs, where they can focus their community on without having to compete with the thousands of other projects that are running or shown on other marketplaces. And we've tried that now with a few smaller clients that we've launched with, just to test out the idea and to get first feedback from the client, from the end users, to build out our tech to actually support that. And we got good feedback. We saw great success with that, and now we are focusing a lot of development efforts on white label stores. Not only on the experience of the end user of the marketplace, but also on the experience to launching your own marketplace. But more on that later. One other feature in regards to also white label stores that we've built and launched is a dark mode. We had a lot of clients requesting dark modes because their branding is built on a dark foundation, and for them, therefore, it doesn't make sense to have a marketplace in light mode. So together with the dark mode and the whole concept around white label stores, and together with NEWM, we've now launched the record store under recordstore.newm.io, I believe. Go on there, check it out, check out the collections, all of the music and whatnot. Explore the marketplace, see how it works, because soon you can do the same as NEWM did, meaning launching your own marketplace. We'll have in Nmaker Studio, we'll have a wizard where you can edit the branding, you can add your own policy IDs, add a bunch of other information as well, and with that you can launch your own marketplace. And we're super excited about that, and I guess Patrick will talk about that as well, and maybe get into more details about that. But once that is live, we are super eager to see all of the new marketplaces that will pop up from all of the projects, and yeah, that's gonna be really cool. To what's gonna happen in the near future. For us, it's quite difficult always to figure out what to build, or to write down actually a coherent roadmap, because we have to balance so many stakeholders for the stores. On the one hand, we have the clients who are launching the stores, we have the end users who actually use the store, we have our own internal goals and things that we want to build, and balancing all of that is quite hard. But nonetheless, we're going to show you a bit what is in development right now and will be launched in a few weeks. One thing is a wallet connect, which might seem odd because you may think a wallet connect is a standard feature for all marketplaces. But if you go onto the record store of NEWM, for example, there is no wallet connect, and the reason for that is there was actually never the need for that, because everything related to wallets was always done is done in Nmaker Pay. So therefore, there was never the need to actually have wallet connect beforehand. But that now changed, and together with wallet connect and profiles that are coming, we can now improve the whole listening experience for the end users. So if you buy something, right now it's quite hard to relist something because you have to find your NFT either through the URL or through the search, which is quite difficult. But once we have wallet connect and profiles, you can just go into your profile, see the wallets, see the NFTs that you own, and then relist them. All of the new features and also any bug fixes or small changes to the store will always be automatically rolled out to all of the client stores. So for example, as soon as we have the profiles running in the Wallet Connect, in the same moment, this will be live for the NEWM store as well, or for your store for that matter. So you never really have to think about that and figure out releases or whatnot. We'll take care of that always, which is quite cool. And I think the whole idea around white label stores, having that automated, having that be able to set up in Nmaker Studio without writing a single line of code, is super easy and makes it, opens it up to a bunch of people in projects who don't have a technical background, because setting up stores with trading and stuff like that is super, super hard, and being able to rolling that out to basically everyone is super amazing. And yeah, we'll hope you're going to use that, and we're excited to see your store running soon. And with that, back to Patrick.
Cool. And with that, back to Patrick and Victor. Welcome back, Victor. What do you say?
That was well done from Fahim. So bravo, Fahim, and a perfect transition back to us. So that was my first time seeing that. And a lot of the stuff, sometimes Patrick shows me stuff early on, but a lot of the stuff they also withhold for me. So that's exciting to see. I knew about the profile stuff and everything, but I've never actually seen this presentation. So I'm excited just as much as I'm sure half of you guys are here. I've seen some stuff. So I'm excited. Yeah.
Victor, I've never seen this presentation and video myself, so I'm not withholding stuff from you. I just, I tell Fahim, make me a demo video.
Yeah.
Or actually, I told Fahim, be here today. Then he told me, I completely forgot. I'm on a train.
Yeah.
And then he said, okay, I'm gonna make a demo video. And then he made a demo video, and I was like, okay, cool. Let's watch it live on air.
That's why he asked me for the link for that recording. The recording tool that we have. So I was like, okay, why do you need this? And I'm like, oh, so he just made it like literally 10, 15 minutes ago. So super cool. That was good.
Yeah, but I'm very excited for what we're building here. Actually, let me share my screen quickly. I'll try. So here we go. I hope. So I'm extremely excited for what we're building here, because we, with Nmaker, we started as just a minting platform, right? So we said, okay, we want to make minting accessible. We want to make NFTs accessible to everyone. And I think we succeeded with that. But that was all during a bull market, right? A lot of hype going on, and not a lot of time to actually sit down and figure out, okay, what do we actually need to do to, build a business that's sustainable long term, and also can onboard people from the outside world into the space. Like, what is actually needed to make NFTs successful? And now in this bear market, in the current situation, we kind of had the chance to sit down and think really hard. Okay, what do we need to build? Do we really want to build another marketplace? Do we really want to compete with JPEG Store, or OpenSea, or Magic Eden, or whatever? And it doesn't really make sense, because there are already so many marketplaces out there. There are already so many DEXs out there and all this kind of stuff. And for us, it was always more outward looking, more using NFTs as tools, right? As things that can actually solve problems, not only as JPEGs. Art is amazing and great, and it's the door opener for many great use cases, but it's only the beginning. So we decided to really go deep on this like white label idea, on this customization idea. So everything that we do with Nmaker Studio and the NFT minting part is built so that you can do it on your own website. We're not a launch pad. We are a platform that you can use to basically take NFTs and integrate them into your own website, into your own application, and launch them the way you want to, and the way that it fits your customers. And I think that's extremely powerful, because that opens up so many new opportunities. It's not just about the next 10K ape pictures or so. You can really say, okay, if you're like a fine art artist, you want to launch NFTs for your gallery, for example, on the gallery's website, or if you're like a big enterprise and you want to launch NFTs as like a life cycle, as a step in the life cycle of your product, you can automatically like mint them once, I don't know, a certain part of your tool or something like that gets produced, right? and that's what we focus on. And the same thing goes for the secondary marketplace, of course. We focused on the minting, and we have Nmaker Studio, and Nmaker Studio has minted over 2 million NFTs at this point, or almost 2 million NFTs, I think, at this point, together with NFT Maker version 1. And now we want to, basically extend that life cycle and give companies and creators and artists the opportunity to also take that secondary marketplace into their own hands and basically create their own white label marketplaces. And that's what we are focused on with everything that Fahim has just shown you. And maybe just quickly, the way Nmaker works is that we always go down two paths, right? So we always go down on the one side, the path of like completely no code. You go in there, you can set up your stuff. You don't have to write a single line of code. It's super easy. And that's also what we do with NFT Pal, right? Where we say, okay, image generation should be easy and you don't have to write a single line of code, and that's it. So we have this, kind of Shopify approach to building a marketplace that Fahim showed, where you can really just click a few things, and I'll show you more about that in a second, and then you have your own marketplace. But on the other side, we also recognize that a lot of products and projects want to basically integrate NFTs more deeply into their products. So they are not looking for a no-code solution. They're more looking for kind of a mix between no-code and API, and that's really where the Nmaker API comes into place, right? So we have a very extensive API. We will show you that quickly here as well. So, right, this is our API documentation. This whole Swagger page here is basically all API endpoints that you can call through Nmaker, and that you can use to really embed NFTs deeply into your products. And we always build them in a way so that it's kind of a mix between just API, but also a little bit of no code. So for example, Nmaker Pay, our payment solution, that's a great tool because no one wants to build their own payment solution. There's no point in you building your own payment solution if there's already existing solutions out there. So what you can do is you can use the API for certain aspects, but then you can use the no-code tools like Nmaker Pay and combine it with your usage of the API. And that's really kind of our thinking. So we want to give you the best of both worlds. And last point before we go on to the next topic, I just quickly wanted to show you what's currently live in Nmaker Studio already. Because, as Fahim mentioned, we have recently launched the very first, or one of the first Nmaker stores with NEWM. And we're going to talk about that later with Ryan as well when he joins the stream. But essentially, the cool thing about that is that it's not a custom developed store, right? It's all set up automatically from inside Nmaker Studio. This is actually what it looks like. This is literally the live account where the store is set up. And the cool thing about it is really that, you can set up a store like that in a few minutes. And this all that I'm going to show you right now is not public yet. So it's all, hidden, and, you can see like the project ID and stuff like that. That's all not public, so you can't really do anything with that. But the idea is basically that once we enable this, everyone will be able to set up their own marketplaces in 5 minutes or less, hopefully. And I think that's really powerful. That's just making it so much easier for everyone. And and before I hop in there, the last thing that I wanted to mention, this is all super beta or alpha. It's not released. It's no one else has seen this except the people at NEWM and Jimmy from Six City, of course, who have set up the store. And everything in here will change just also from a UI perspective. We're really working hard on making the UI as clean as possible at the moment. And we know that Nmaker Studio is not up to our own standards, to be honest, yet. But we're getting there. So, so the way it works is, right, we have this nice green button here, create a new store. You can click on that, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on edit store because we already have an existing store in there, right? And I can go in there and I can say, okay, I'm basically prompted to enter some information about the store, like the name and the URL and a description, Twitter handle. Also select the wallet, right, where the marketplace fees are going to go to, right, because there are fees for a secondary marketplace. You can select how large the fees are or not. Then you can go to the next steps and change some branding stuff basically. So for example, the color here, you can select the color for the primary brand. You can select a secondary color, stuff like that. You can choose between some Google fonts, upload a fav icon, upload an open graph image. That's the image that always shows on Twitter when you copy paste the link. And you can select if you want to have a dark mode or if you want to have a light mode. And so, you know, I'm very pro light mode, but Twitter has convinced me we needed a dark mode. And then also here, a very important step is that you can select the NFT search scope. So essentially you can say, okay, do we want to have all NFTs on Cardano indexed for this marketplace, or do we want to restrict it to a certain amount of collections that are indexed by the store? And you know, for this, in this case, of course, we have restricted it to all the NFTs that Project NEWM is wants to have on the store, which is all like music NFTs basically. Then if you go to the next step, you could upload the logo, and don't worry, this logo is very large now, of course. This is because I uploaded a super large logo. And this is the part where I mentioned, okay, the UI is not finished. Of course, we need to scale that down a little bit and all this stuff. Footer logo as well. And you can set some call to action buttons. So like, you know, start collecting, apply for drop, link it to some URLs, stuff like that. And then in the last step, or one of the last steps, is it's basically a few other things around the page, what do you call it, design. So you can upload a hero image, you can write some headlines, you can set some buttons, all this kind of stuff. It's all very, very straightforward and shouldn't take too long to really set up. And once you're done with that, right before you're able to actually launch the store, there's another very important step to do, which is basically to say, okay, I want to have these collections on the store page. So you can add certain collections by simply adding the policy ID to this list here. And you can say, okay, I want to, I don't know, select like a random project here, music machines, and you click on add collection, and it's going to add it to this list of projects. And here for Six City and NEWM, we already have 47 projects, so 47 policy IDs, which are visible on the store. And you can say, okay, I want to show this one on the front page, or I don't want to show this on the front page. It's all quite simple to do. And yeah, that's basically all you have to do to launch a store. You know, the next step is to click on publish. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to accidentally change some stuff on the live store, right? But in general, that's how it works. And of course, this is only the very first step. So this is like not even live, right? But this is, I think, the very first step in a very important series of steps which we are going to do, which will really make creating your own marketplaces super easy. And Fahim just showed you a little bit of what that will look like in the future and what we are working on right now. But for us, basically, this is the part where we say, okay, we want to onboard the businesses and we want to onboard the creators and artists. And the cool thing as well is that this is all going to be completely free. So we are going to go with a freemium model where we say, okay, launching a store should be free and accessible to everyone. But then if you want to have additional features, like, for example, your own custom domain, you can pay like a certain amount per month, and we have like a subscription added to it. But everything else should be as accessible as possible so that as many stores can exist as possible. And yeah, I'm extremely excited about that. I think it's going to be amazing once we roll it out to the community. And I just talked for a very long time. My voice is kind of hurting today. So, Victor, do you have anything to add to this?
Yeah. I think people are loving it. Yeah, it's not even just like a free website to host your collections or live sales, because as you can see here, you could even select that button that says is drop active, so you can even have a live drop for your own sale, but you can also add collections from other projects onto your marketplace that you're fans of. You want to give more light to, and people can buy it directly from your marketplace, and then you can collect a fee, basically because you're essentially an aggregator at that point of different type of projects. So people can come to you to, let's say you're really good at not collecting, but curating. You're a good curator, because it is kind of difficult to find great art pieces at times on these marketplaces, because there's just so much other 10,000 collections or PP projects, or whatever the reason is you're just hidden from like a lot of that stuff, right? So this kind of just helps you and helps other projects kind of come together and maybe collaborates and, hey, promote me on your collection, if it gets popularity. So it does kind of even out the playing field. I see it this way. It's just I see a lot of other people having very personal NFT places and creating these niche groups. Maybe you can have a gaming marketplace. We already have NEWM with music. We have new form with going into fine arts. So just the possibilities are limitless. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too. I think this is going to open up a lot of possibilities. And I think it's a great point that you touched upon. Because this is part of Nmaker Studio, it's going to be, or it already is, tightly integrated with the minting part. So basically, you will be able to launch NFT projects, new NFT mints directly on the store, and it's going to take you only a few clicks. So I think this is really powerful because we've been building Nmaker Studio for 2 years at this point, and we've built so many cool things like the whole sale conditions and the fiat integration and the paper wallet and the custodial wallet and all this kind of stuff just to make minting as accessible as possible. And if you have a store and you can benefit from basically being able to utilize that minting technology on the store as well, that's huge, because then there's just so much you can do. And the power of Nmaker Studio is just growing and growing. And we want to have all these different parts that you can use to basically do whatever you want, right? So NFT Pal is also a part of that, right? In the end, you could use NFT Pal to generate images, then put them into Nmaker Studio, into a new minting project, and then connect that minting project to your own custom white label store. And all of it takes less than a few minutes, which I think is just unbelievable. And just lowering the entry barrier so much to just Cardano development in general. So I'm gonna turn off my screen now. Stop screen sharing. Perfect. What are you drinking there? That looks really fancy.
It's just a big thermos for water. That's all.
Okay, and you have a straw in there.
That's a straw, so you don't have to do anything basically.
Cool. So good. Then now we have 2 more minutes until our next guest, but he's not here yet, so we'll have to wait a little bit. I'm gonna turn on a standby screen quickly. Where is it? Here we go. And we'll be back in 1 or 2 minutes, hopefully. Okay. So let me turn off this. So we do a slight different version of the live stream today because we're still waiting for one of the guests. But luckily, Kristian here rescheduled his whole calendar to be here tonight, which I'm very thankful for. So thank you very much, Kristian, and welcome to the stream.
Thank you
I
for
don't
the
know.
invitation to our birthday party.
Of course, you're like the main guest, so of course. And I don't know where Victor is at the moment, but I think we can go ahead without him. Yeah, Kristian, how are you today?
I'm good. Busy weeks, and hi Annette. And a lot of things are on our table, right? So a lot of work to do, but sometimes it's time to celebrate. And I think this 2 years anniversary today and your birthday tomorrow is definitely something we should celebrate and take some time for.
Absolutely. Very excited for I can't believe that it's been 2 years already, and it's almost 1.5 years, I think, that we know each other and that we work together, or more even. Yeah, almost 1 3/4, something like that. So Kristian, you're not super publicly, on Twitter as me sometimes, so a lot of people might not really know much about you, which is unfortunate because there's a lot of things to know about you. So would you give us the honor of introducing yourself quickly?
Sure. So yes, I think around about 2 years ago we met, right? And it was one of my first touch points with blockchain because my background is the film industry. So before I joined the blockchain space, I worked for more than a decade in the film industry. And I worked as a first assistant director and a film producer in the European art house section. So I love storytelling. And as a first AD on set, you're always at the crossroad between financing a project, then organizing the days on set with 500 extras, 10 actors, and 50 to 100 people from the crew. And then the third angle is working with the directors and the actors on the creative side of things. So I did this for more than a decade, and then I attended one of the premieres in Venice, the film festival in Venice. And I invited a couple of friends because it's always good to be in Italy with friends. And this is the one thing I could give to them when I was offline for 3 months again because I was shooting a movie, to invite them to the film premiere. And during the film premiere, I looked left and right, and some of them were on their smartphones while watching a movie. And this was exactly the point in history where I decided, okay, storytelling has to shift. People are still interested in storytelling, but not in the storytelling, the traditional storytelling we are used to. So I decided to take a step back from filmmaking and dive deeper into the storytelling part of things. And I did this by leaving the industry and creating a creative agency based in Berlin and Madrid with the wonderful Tobias Steffen. It's called Leaf Agency. I created this agency to help businesses to put a storytelling in place to move from Web 2 to Web 3. And then at some point I saw you creating NFT Maker, the very first version. And I thought, yes, we have to talk because NFTs are one of the 3 things I think are well needed for the future of storytelling. The other 2 are AI and VR AR, but I think it was a good move for us to start with the blockchain part of things and get a very robust and scalable NFT minting tool in place so that we can keep telling stories.
That was a wonderful story that you just told us. I can't believe it, how eloquently you explained all of this. And I've heard it a few times already, but I think this was the best of the times that you explained it. So
it's our birthday. So.
Yeah, it is, and I'm very excited to have you here also to talk a little bit about the projects that we've done in the last year, because there were so many, right? There's so much stuff that Nmaker has done, and I'm extremely proud of what we've achieved and the people that we worked with, and just in general the chances that we created for for everyone to get into the Cardano and NFT space in general. So maybe, what was your highlight last year? What was your favorite project, or one of the favorite projects, or a few maybe, whatever you like?
Yeah, sure. And I think we can combine this with the story of Alphonse, who's asking about how I would use NFTs in storytelling. And one of the projects that right away popped into my mind is, of course, the wonderful Danketsu. Back then they were called Ada Ninjas. And I still remember the day when Tommy and Sushan approached me. Before, they had one community member on Discord, and they pitched the idea of telling a story by having NFTs in place that you can use for voting for the story. So what they did, and Alphonse, I think this is a wonderful use case of storytelling. They hired a team of writers who wrote the manga, and on certain points during this storytelling, you could pick as a community member if the character does A or B, if the story moves that way or this way. And then the community could decide. I think it was one NFT, one vote. And then the writers kept writing, and they developed the story in that direction. And I think this is a wonderful way how you can combine NFTs with storytelling. In addition to that, my background was storytelling, yes, or is storytelling, but it's even more getting creative people in the position that they feel safe enough that they can start storytelling, to tell a story, because there are a lot of people out there who are a lot better than I am in storytelling. Back in the days, it were the directors and the actors, and nowadays it's people like Sushan and Tommy and the wonderful Ignacio, who is the storyteller behind the Danketsu, and getting those people in a position where they can tell a story and get the community on board with that. I think this is something where we did a great job with Nmaker.
I completely agree, and I think we're only just getting started, and we have so much more to come in the next year and years to come. And it started off amazingly well with some great people that we met in the space, like Sushan and Tommy and many others as well, that just were super positive and really saw NFTs as an opportunity to build something completely new. And that's what it's about for me as well, to just create innovative new things using blockchain technology. We're not here to do the same things over and over again. A lot of the stuff that we do are experiments, right? It's maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work, but if it works, it's going to be amazing. And if it doesn't work, we're on to the next thing. And I think we had a lot of projects like that. One of the latest projects that I personally think is really cool, that has nothing really, or maybe a little bit actually, now that I think about, to do with storytelling, is the UNHCR project. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And also, Blockchain Paris, you went there. What did you experience? What were your thoughts?
It was a crazy time, a crazy couple of days in Paris, because the fair took place under the Louvre. And there everyone talked about the future and technology, how we can change the world. And outside in Paris, there were the riots taking place with 800,000 people on the streets every day. And this was like a field of energy. And I like to have that when I'm telling a story, field of energy where you have like the poles set apart, and in between there is storytelling taking place. And for me, Blockchain Week Paris was such an event. And what we did with the United Nations and the Refugee Agency was that they approached us through the Cardano Foundation, and they asked for help to get an NFT fundraising in place that is in addition to what they do with the stake pool and the Cardano Foundation. And what I really loved is how open they were, that they said from the get-go, okay, maybe it will fail. Maybe we're not going to sell hundreds of thousands of NFTs, but it's a first step in a direction we like. And this is where we teamed up with Turf, and they have created those amazing NFT designs. Shout out, you say, right? Shout out to Turf. Because they put in place what the UNHCR wanted to get. 2 different donation spots, one for Ukraine to help the underfunded crisis in Ukraine, and the other one to help underfunded crisis worldwide. And you could pick one of those NFTs and the donation goes right away to those projects. And I think it's a wonderful way to donate money if you're into Web3, if you're into the blockchain space, and you have some spare ADA left, and you would like to make sure that the money goes to a project where you really can track and you know that the money is spent in a wise way. I think what this will open to a lot of projects is that you don't have to look up for a charity project yourself anymore. You don't have to browse through the web, talk to people, and you don't know if the shelter for the animals is very important, but if it's something in your local town that you can trust, right? So with UNHCR, I think we got one of those core pillar projects in place where everyone knows, okay, that's a name that will do what they say they are to do. And we will grow this now. We started with NFT week, blockchain week in Paris, and we will be in consensus as well. And we will do all those big conferences. And UNHCR will be on the ground, promoting Cardano, promoting what we do together here with Turf and Nmaker. And I think it's a wonderful project. And if projects are into donations, then they should definitely check it out. And maybe they're willing to redirect 10% or 20% of their funds to this wonderful, amazing project, because this is where the money is really needed.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's very important also from just a business perspective and also like a blockchain adoption perspective to set these precedents and say, okay, we are doing this project now. We are doing this to prove that it actually works as expected, that it actually solves real problems. And once we have a few of those like proven use cases out there where blockchain can come in and where NFTs can come in to make things better, it's a lot easier to get new projects come to us, and we can talk to more agencies around the world that want to use NFTs for charity and stuff like that. And it's not only charity, it's every single aspect, basically every single aspect where NFTs can make sense. And and that's why I'm very excited for this particular project as well. But of course, many other projects as well, which we have in the pipeline. Maybe last question before I let you go. What else do we have anything that we can share? I have no idea, to be honest, if there's anything that we can share already. And what are you most excited for in the next coming months?
What we did back in the days with the other ninjas was we provided them a platform where they could sell their first collection, 8,888 NFTs, within a couple of hours, and it was just about the NFTs getting sold, right? And I really like what we did beginning of this year, shifting towards like startups and companies who are building on top of Nmaker to create their own ecosystem. And the best examples for that from my head are, of course, Project NEWM with the record store now. Then we have the wonderful people behind Book.io with the ebooks platform. And then we have Newcast.io, the decentralized streaming platform. And what I really like in regards to Newcast is that they not only implemented video on demand, that you buy an NFT and you can watch the movie whenever you want, wherever you want, but now they implemented live streaming. And I think this will open the doors to get like a hybrid model between Netflix and YouTube on the Cardano blockchain. And I think a lot of people did not yet realize how big this will be, because we will have a lot of events where we do live streaming, and those are the things I'm excited about because I know what's coming. I'm not allowed to talk about it yet, but I know what's coming. But having big superstars streaming live from events on the Cardano blockchain, token gated by NFTs minted with Nmaker, I think this is something very, very exciting. And in addition to that, I think that in combination with that, ticketing can be very, very helpful. And we are developing a couple of things in regards to ticketing, how we can get this in place, that you buy a ticket and then you get a QR code, and it's randomized every couple of seconds. So when you're at the venue, it gets scanned and then it's redeemed. And I think if we then combine the dots between ticketing, live streaming, music, and ebooks and everything, then we're talking about an entertainment platform, entertainment ecosystem on the Cardano blockchain, where I then, with my background, can approach all the big IPs and all the people I know from back in the days and tell them, okay, we are ready for you to take the next step in regards to storytelling on the blockchain.
That sounds extremely exciting, and I'm very excited myself. I think NFTs can reshape the way that we interact with ownership of media. We went from a world where everyone was just getting more and more streaming services, subscriptions, and so on, and you're not really owning the stuff anymore. Like back in the day, if you bought a video game, you owned the video game and you can play it like 30 years later. And now if Steam shuts down, I can't really play most of my games anymore. And the same with Kindle, and the same with Spotify and Netflix and so on. So NFTs are bringing back that ownership aspect, and I think Book.io is an amazing example of that, and Ucast, of course, and many other projects. Also, Project NEWM, who I'm a big fan of, is bringing digital rights back to the actual holders or people that want to purchase the music, right? So yeah, that's very cool. I'm gonna let you leave now. Maybe I'm gonna bring up Victor quickly to the stage if he's here or not.
I want to say one more thing.
Okay, one more thing.
Because I think you're 100% right, and it's very important that we keep in mind that true ownership is something on the blockchain that only makes sense if the blockchain is 100% decentralized. If we don't have that in place, then we will replace one monopoly like Amazon with another monopoly like Ethereum, for example, just picking one of them, right? So this is why it's so important to do this with a true ownership, but on a 100% decentralized blockchain. And this is what we are fighting for every day, to get this in place and to get the true ownership back in place for people.
Perfect last words.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
So, okay, before we go to the next speaker, I'm going to bring up Victor very quickly for a recap. Victor, what do you think? Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I cut most of that. I was walking my dogs. Yeah, Kristian, man, with the wisdom in the end there. He's 100% correct. Yeah, I mean, it's like in the beginning, it was all about decentralization, and I think it still is. But as we see more blockchains become created and people are starting to go back to centralization, so it's kind of, like you said, it's kind of pointless if we're just repeating the same thing with Web 2, centralize all decentralization and doing it over again. So yeah, I think it is important to build on a blockchain that is decentralized, so that we everyone can have voice. They can pretty much act in the way they see fit for their company and not be shut down. Yeah, so I'm excited. I caught on the end part and some things about film and stuff, but Newcast and Book.io, big projects, both using Nmaker. So really excited.
Cool. So then we are going over to our next guest. I'm gonna show the graphic quickly because I made it, so I need to show it. Ta-da! Upcoming Rogue Galaxies with Yves. But Yves is already here, so I'm gonna turn off the graphic and add him to the space. Welcome.
Welcome. What
Hi,
a
Yves.
wonderful graphic you created there, Patrick.
I'm amazing, and and the funny thing is, I didn't even make the graphic. I only made the text and exported it. So it took like 5 seconds.
Awesome. Yeah. First of all, happy birthday to Nmaker. Nice that you have me here today to talk a bit about Rogue Galaxy. It's been some crazy weeks or months, especially the last couple of months where really crazy. A lot of ups and downs. I think most of you guys know how our second min went, and from there on we had to do a big shift. And I'm glad to be here today to talk a bit about that, what we are doing right now, because we kind of kept things quiet, but this never meant that we are not working on something. And I think it's very cool to show some gameplay today as well. So for everyone that's not familiar with Rogue Galaxy, it's a sci-fi MMO. And it started as a very ambitious project, and it was divided into 3 separate modules, like a space exploration module where it's all about flying with your spaceship, exploring space, combat, and these kind of things. A planetary module, which is like gameplay on the planet surface with your character in third person, shooting creatures and aliens. And there was also a big social component with big city hubs, which connect the whole universe together. And yes, Patrick just shows it, like on roguegalaxies.com, there are all the informations. But where we right now, we had to shrink the scope to create something that was feasible for us after our second mint, which did not went as we had it expected. And we did a lot of brainstorming and shifting of plans to come up with a good solution. And what we essentially do right now is creating a vertical slice of our first module, which is the space exploration module. And the vertical slice is something, if you're not familiar with the term, which is like a very short piece of the full game, but in the quality of what you could expect from a full game. So it should give you a very good idea of what Rogue Galaxies can come in the future if we can fully develop it to the full extent. And it will also give you like the first glimpse into the whole galaxy, the universe, what it is all about. And this is something we're really like focused on the last couple of weeks, like really breaking this experience down we want to create here. Like what kind of story do we want to tell? Kristian mentioned before a lot about storytelling, and Ignacio is very famous for that kind of topic. And we have him still on board, helping us and creating and shaping the story for the work he slice. So people can expect that they have a story they can play through in the vertical slice, and there will also be some interesting dialogue options, because it's not only you in the game, it's also a little companion you have on your side, which is Pip, your AI bot, which is also like a very topic of the moment, I would say, with all the AI stuff that is coming up. So we're hitting that right at time. Yeah, and we really like trying to build the whole experience out. If I can say something about game development in early stages, it's quite boring because you have to do the foundation work, and that was also something we had to create in the last weeks, was like creating the base system, the project setup, then you create your first control things. It's before it becomes visual, but I definitely have something to show today. We also did show a couple of in-game screenshots the last couple of days to give some first glimpses into what we are creating right now. But before I start to show something, do you have any questions? Or Patrick, do you want to give us some input here?
I don't have any questions. I had like a full, set of questions planned to get you to the point where you want to show something, but you took it all on your own, which is fine. I just want to think that, I think what we're doing right now with Rogue Galaxies is really cool, because we said, okay, look, let's focus on actually building something. Let's focus on actually delivering something. And maybe we're very German sometimes in our approach, right? So what that meant was that we cut down a lot on the social media marketing activities and stuff like that, and the whole community building aspect, and really say, okay, all of our energy needs to go into building this project, right? Building this game. And that is what Yves and the team has been doing for the last few weeks. And yeah, I'm very excited for it to actually come out someday. And I'm also very excited for what you have to show us today, because I haven't seen it yet either.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, so it's also a preview for you, like a first time look into it, besides the screenshots and what we were discussing, like in the chats. But yeah, I will share my screen. I'm not so familiar with this kind of text, so I hope I can just.
Yeah, it should work.
It's only like sharing windows. Okay, I will try it that way. Hopefully it works.
Okay, perfect. Let me enable that. Okay, here we go.
So we really give you like the insight directly from the engine. So what you can see right now is like full black screen, right?
1 second. It's very, yeah, it's full black screen.
Yeah, it's full black, but it's okay if it's like that.
No, yeah, but it's also very high resolution, low resolution. So maybe if you can turn off your camera quickly.
Give me a second.
Somehow Restream is not very good at showing streams from other people. That's very unfortunate.
Does it work now?
Yes, now it's.
Yeah, it was
lot
also
better.
telling me like that Restream was freezing. Okay. So before I start showing something, you have to keep in mind it's like a work in progress. We have like the base foundation and a bit about the story. At the start, you will spawn in a space station. And this is also what we will do here. And there will be some evacuation scene. So it's for you, okay, something is going on. And at the start of the game, it's you going to your spaceship. And since this is a blockchain game, your spaceship is your actual NFT. So what you will see here is like me going to the hangar. You will also be able to explore here a little bit of the space station if some doors are open. For now, mostly they are like stuffed with a couple of things are blocked. And it's pretty much to get some base idea of the movement, learn a bit about the game. Very easy, just to get some entry point for the game. I think that's very important. And it's also like getting familiar with the controls until you reach the hangar scene, where you right now then have your spaceship parked, which is, as I mentioned, your NFT. And in the ultimate vision of Rogue Galaxy, this will be like your spaceship, fully customizable, and NFT you can then later transform. But as I mentioned, we are creating the vertical slice of the space exploration module. So let me quickly jump into one of the next scenes, which is also a part of the tutorial. Okay, so later on, there will be more transitioning and it will be more streamlined. But this is like a scene where it's like you with your spaceship. And what you can see here, some blinking containers. And one of the first things you have to learn with your spaceship is like maneuvering, how to, just fly it and just maneuver through things. And that's why one of the first scenes inside of the game is like an asteroid field filled with these canisters you have to maneuver through. And if you come too close to them, then they will explode and damage you. So if you're a better pilot than me, you will survive. And I just restarted quickly. And what it is really about is like learning your spaceship and then slowly becoming like figuring out how to maneuver through things. Because especially in flying a spaceship, there are different inputs, how you have to steer it and how to maneuver it. And there's also a booster you can use, so you can become faster. And it's really like getting the hang of it. Like in every game, there's some tutorial which gives you an introduction. And what you also can expect here is like that you are in constant communication with your AI bot, which gives you hints and more informations of what to do and what your mission is all about. And then eventually, if you are good enough, you will be able to maneuver through this thing. And at the end of some points, there are these gates. And these gates are like some fast travel points we use to go to different places. And it's also important to have them here to travel through the galaxy of rogue galaxies. And some of them are active, and some of them have to be repaired through missions that you have to do. So in the vertical slice, you can expect a couple of things for you to do. There will also be combat involved. Like, just let me show you a little bit of that. There is shooting. So you have your laser gun, you can shoot, and there are also rockets. So expect some of that you have to fight some foes and defend yourself. And ultimately, it's really about having like the mission where you have to find a mysterious shard, which is a Stitch and Splinter. And these Stitch and Splinters are like the power source of this universe. And in order to do so, you will have to do some sneaky actions and go inside of an enemy battleship. But I don't want to spoil too much of that, because in the end, it's your mission to figure it out, how to get there and how to go inside that ship to get that Stitch and Splinter. Yeah, and I would say
that's incredible. That's incredible. I can't believe it. Like,
yeah.
I'm seriously blown away. It looks amazing. It looks like an actual game, which is super high quality.
Yeah, this whole time you were showing this to us, I had this internal monologue of all these comments I'm making in my head. Like, it looks fantastic, and especially the opening hangar scene. Job well done. It looks amazing.
Yeah, thanks. We've been working very hard on that the last weeks to get it to a good point. And as I said, like, the foundation stuff takes a lot of time. So at the point where we are right now is that we can make fast improvements. So it's like going back to the game every 2 days or every 3 days, you see major improvements, new things added, new content, all of that. And we really think the vertical slice is shaping very well together, and we think it will be a very cool experience. And I'm excited when people can play it. And this is also a thing. Start, we thought about the access of the MVP, and I think we said back then that we just open it up for everyone, but we still believe that people that have our NFTs should be like the one that have the first access. And it will be like we promised them back then when they purchased our NFTs, that these will be like the key to play this game, like to play the vertical slice. So the NFTs are still the early access key as we promised them back then.
Amazing. I can't believe it. I can't believe how much you and the team and everyone involved actually managed to do with the amount of little resources that we had overall, and also little time that we had to do this. So I'm really astonished at the moment, and I'm very excited. And I think the community is going to be very happy as well. I see a lot of very positive comments here in the chat. Gonna put a few here. So thank you for showing us this, Yves. It's really cool. Yeah, what else do you have to tell us about Rogue Galaxies? Is there anything else? Do you have any questions, Victor? Maybe.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So, what does this mean for Rogue Galaxies? Like, you guys plan on continuing the NFT sales at some point? Are we gonna speak to the community on that decision? Like, what's the next step after they've seen this?
I mean, it's also something that is always like in the hands of the community. We are very community focused from day one. And even though in the last couple of weeks, as I mentioned, we were quiet on that part because we really focused on building, it's still that this is like a community driven game and community driven development. We see potential, especially as we approach like the final states of the vertical slice, that it will be something that players can get their hands on and decide for themselves and on their own what they want Rogue Galaxies to be. And I really think like the approach from us from day one, like delivering things first, is like the approach we should also go forward with Rogue Galaxies.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I think there will be a lot more debate about where Rogue Galaxies should go in the future once we come closer to the release date and afterwards, of course, and we'll figure that out together. But I'm just incredibly proud of the team and of everyone at Nmaker and everyone at who has been part of developing the game for saying, okay, we're actually building something cool here, and we're not going to listen to all the FUD, and we're just here and pushing through and building something. And I think that's a heavily underrated skill nowadays, to just deliver. So I don't have any other questions. If you have nothing else to show us, I think we can stay.
Not yet.
Okay,
I think
yet.
it was a good sneak peek, I would say. Okay. So
it was a very good sneak peek. It was incredible. So I don't think you have to show us anything else. I'm very excited for the next steps and next sneak peeks, maybe. And then, yeah, thank you so much for your time, Yves, and I hope you have a great rest of the evening.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me, and we will talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
It's good seeing you. Bye.
What do you say, Victor?
I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I've never seen the gameplay before. I think maybe I saw a screenshot at some point, but that looks phenomenal. Better than probably 99% of the games that are on Web3 right now. So yeah. I mean, kind of understand, like, at least I'm understanding now the situation of like how much money goes into this project, because that's not a cheap game that we're looking at. So I mean, maybe people will start to understand, I guess, the process and what we're trying to build. At least what you guys are trying to build Nmaker games. So, yeah.
It's not a cheap game, and you have to think about it. We did not raise nearly the amount of money that we wanted to raise with the NFT sales, and in general, we have multiple seasons planned. We have a scope of over a million, multiple millions actually, to deliver this whole game. And what we've just seen was basically done by the minimum team that we possibly have, just by the founders, just by the core team. And just imagine how much more we could achieve if we had the funding to do so, and if we had the opportunity and the time frame as well to do so. I think we would be able to actually build something which really transcends crypto and really is just a great game overall and onboards people. And that's the whole point. That's why I wanted to do Rogue Galaxies from the beginning, right? So I'm excited for that. But I hope.
I was just thinking in my head is like, don't bet against Nmaker and Patrick. So I was like, this looks great. I mean, like, I mean, I guess it's gonna be up to the community. I know we've stepped back a lot in the community building wise, because that does take so much time out of like the game. I mean, it's a small team. I mean, what they've made with just the team, the resources that they have is incredible. But like, they were also like, I mean, I helped out as much as I could. We were also handling social media. Like that's a lot of time. Like community building is like a lot of time. So that took up in all the Twitter spaces that Yves and Ignacio did. It's just a lot of time and making all these partnerships and deals and stuff like that, trying to get more people in. So that's like a full-time job right there. So that took out a lot of time from the development, and I'm super glad that we're focusing on putting all that resources into just building the game and putting it out there and getting the response from the community, and then moving forward. I think that's the perfect thing to do, and hopefully the community gets behind Rogue Galaxies if they left, or get behind them once again, and see what's being built here.
I agree. So let's take a look at the agenda again. So what we've done so far is we've done the introduction, we've done the NFT Pal Live Demo, which is incredible. Very excited for that. We watched Fahim's video about the Nmaker custom stores. We have skipped IMX because IMX is not here yet. And we just looked at Rogue Galaxies. We also talked to Kristian already about partnerships, and a lot of exciting stuff is coming up there. And now next up on the list is actually Project NEWM with Ryan. And unfortunately, Ryan is in a meeting, so I don't know if he's going to be able to make it, but I'm pretty sure he will be. I will double check. Yeah, but in general, I think what we will do now is we will go ahead with the Q&A. So Victor and I will do a little bit of Q&A with you guys in the chat, and then once Ryan joins, we're gonna continue with Project NEWM updates and see, and go from there. So the schedule is a little bit messed up, but that's no problem for us because we're very spontaneous and agile people, right? Agile development.
Yeah.
So back to this.
There was a question from earlier if you want to go ahead and respond to that.
Yes, 1 second. Let me set some stuff here. Okay, new comments will display here. Okay, so everything that you will write now will show on the right-hand side, I hope. Yeah, what questions did we have?
Yeah, so go ahead and everyone feel free to drop your comments so we can see them. But from earlier, someone asked about the SAS NFT that we have and what kind of utility that's going to bring, or what's the updates on that?
Yes, sorry, I just added one last question in there. So yeah, the SaaS NFTs, software as a service NFTs. Maybe let me share my screen as well quickly to talk about this. So where are we? Okay, here we go. So the Nmaker token, very important topic, of course, that I wanted to talk about anyways, and I will make a dedicated video about the Nmaker token in the near future. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So essentially, the Nmaker token, we have a few different things for the Nmaker token. So we kind of try to divide the functionality of the token into 2 parts, right? The first part we call earn, and the second part we call lock. And earning the token can be done via multiple different mechanisms, right? So there's, of course, the ability to buy the token, right? That's pretty obvious. You can go to SundaeSwap, MintSwap, etc. to purchase the token. And many people have done so already, and we have quite a lot of holders. But then we also have a few other ways of earning the token. One of them is actually, staking the token. And I see Ryan is in here, so I'm gonna have Ryan be on hold for 2 more minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead with Project NEWM. But essentially, the interesting topic is, okay, if you stake your Nmaker, your ADA on the Nmaker stake pool, you will receive tokens, right? And then the question is, okay, what can you actually do with those tokens, right? What is the utility of the token? And the utility of the Nmaker token is that you can say, okay, I want to lock the token, first of all, and you are going to lock it for either 6, 9, or 12 months. And by locking the token, you are receiving a SaaS NFT, which is a software as a service NFT. That NFT looks like this. It's a very nice looking NFT. One of our designers made it. I think it looks beautiful. And the idea is that this NFT unlocks features in Nmaker, in the Nmaker ecosystem for you. So we want to use it basically as an alternative to a software as a service subscription model, right? And that, that's kind of the concept of it. And we are going to be implementing more stuff in that area. So unfortunately, the truth is we have one tool which is ready for this, but we haven't gotten around to deploying it yet and making it accessible to the community. And it's mostly my fault because I simply haven't gotten the time for it yet. But it will come, and it will come soon, and you will like it. I'm pretty sure of that. And in general, a lot more stuff for the token is coming soon. But it's also, we kind of have to balance out development, like where do we focus on right now? And and unfortunately, that's one of the things which is taking a little bit longer than we expected. So I'm sorry for that, but bear with us a few more days, and then you will be able to actually use your SaaS NFTs. In the meantime, feel free to lock your Nmaker tokens. You're not only getting more Nmaker tokens, you're not only getting the SaaS NFT, you're also getting more Nmaker tokens. Okay, and we can go to more details later on. I know a lot of people are already posting questions in the chat, so we are skipping the Q&A now. And we're going back to Ryan, who's here.
Yeah, we'll be back to the Q&A later on, guys.
Exactly, we're going back to the Q&A later on. But for now, welcome, Ryan. How are you?
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
We can hear you perfectly.
Oh, perfect. Sorry, you're catching me on mobile, so I'm running one meeting to the next. But happy birthday! 2 years, the baby's walking.
Yeah, it's unbelievable,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you know, Ryan, when did we first meet?
Oh gosh,
Do you remember?
2018. We had drinks.
Yeah, it
No.
was not 2018, but
I don't know, 2020. It feels like
yeah,
forever, honestly.
It feels like forever, but I don't think it was that long ago. Maybe 3 years at this point, something like that.
Yeah,
But
I guess that has been a while though.
Yeah, it is. And I didn't have NFT Maker or Nmaker back in the day, and you didn't have Project NEWM back in the day. So we've both started projects in the space and are doing Cardano full time, which is completely incredible, if you ask me.
We've come a long way, I think. I think you're a little ahead. I'm trying to play catch up though. So. No,
So
I mean, how many NFTs have y'all minted now? 2 million?
Yes, 2 million. Almost exactly 2 million. Yeah.
It's like you were shooting for 1 million each year or something like that. I know that's not the case, but
I wish I wish we mint a lot more in the future. I want to really get NFTs into the hands of everyone. You know, especially also with music. I feel like that's a great catalyst for NFTs. Everyone listens to music. Everyone wants to own their music, and right now we're bound to these like streaming platforms, and and subscription models, and that's going to change in the future. What do you think? Like, and maybe that's a good segue to, you know, Project NEWM. I always call it Project NEWM, but it's NEWM now. So, can you explain NEWM to us?
Yeah, I can tell you, you helped onboard my father. You red pilled my father into crypto via the market, the record store. So it was great having that fiat off and on ramp. But yeah, NEWM started off as Muse, and then I got a cease and desist in the mail from the lawyer representing the band Muse. And so then we very strategically pivoted, and NEWM is actually, I'm a music nerd for anybody that knows me. It's short, or a NEWM is actually a type of musical notation it's the earliest form of musical notation from Western music anyways. And it's called pneumatic notation, and a NEWM is the smallest little division. So basically our marketing team took that and went,
That's so nerdy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I always thought it stood for new music.
I thought so too.
Okay, so I mean they
works.
took it as like new medium, new music. They took it and ran with it and was like, oh, we can use this. And we're like, okay, great. I'm happy that my nerdy self is great. So Tiziana, our CPO, she was very strategic with that and helping me to craft something that made sense. So anyways, but yeah, what we're doing is we're aiming to create a decentralized music ecosystem. And for those that are following the project, you know that we've already started with our essentially our proof of concept with fractionalization of IP rights specifically pertaining to streaming royalty income right now. And that's the first thing that we actually launched. And to me, it's a paradigm shift. And Patrick, you said it. I think NFTs excite me, and fungibles, like we all know in Cardano, it's all native assets. But they excite me personally because of the amount of different business models they're going to facilitate for both artists and fans. And a lot of times in the music industry, musicians are not lawyers, nor are they business people. And they don't necessarily understand or even care to, because they just want to make music. They don't care to really understand, you know, okay, I signed this agreement. All I know is I get money, I can live, and then I can just make music. you know, and they don't necessarily know what they're signing, you know, all the things. And then with NFTs and tokenization of assets, I think we're seeing a shift of, oh, it's almost like giving fire to mankind, except it's making it to where an average everyday person can all of a sudden participate in all these fun, I call them fun, these fun different financial tools and models of how to connect with an artist and how to invest if they, you know, outside of just buying merchandise, right? So that's kind of where I think we're going. So in my future world, I see a place where music is self-hosted, or it's decentralized the hosting, and it's decentralized for the commerce, and then also the royalties and who owns what and all of the different pieces of the puzzle, which as of today they take in the United States 3 entities to responsibly track and pay out things, but every country has their own legal entity that's responsible for tracking where money is supposed to go to and to whom owns what, and a lot of it's based off of human error. Well, with blockchain and through NFTs, we're able to, from the beginning of conception, say, hey, this is where everything lives. This is who owns what. This is how we can follow this, and it doesn't take a middleman, right? So that's basically the big spiel. But with what we do with you guys, it's super fun. You know, our whole goal is to give artists different ways to connect with their fans, and that can be of various different things. You know, and so with what we did with you guys is we partnered, and we have the record store, which is a place for people to come, and as a musician, I can say, hey, you know, I want to create some scarcity, and I want to only release 100 copies of, you know, this single. Or I want to go have some merchandise that's specifically related to this, and they can do that through the store, through the record store here. And what's really cool is that this week on Friday we have an artist named Mike Lehrman, who is releasing a single on the record store. He's also fractionalizing and distributing that single to streaming platforms. So there's going to be we're actually doing 3 separate things to one piece of music. So we're going, hey, you're distributing your music to all the regular places, but you're doing it through Web3 first. We're fractionalizing ownership, and we're allowing him to do scarcity and do a serialized release all at the same time. And that's so cool. That's 3 separate products. And that means also 2 different types of products that the consumer can actually choose to partake in. So that to me is super cool, and it's just that's going to help fund him, and that's going to give fans more value packed than just, oh, I bought a CD in the 90s, I can listen to this like 10,000 times, but that's all I get, right? And you know, without getting too much into the weeds, from a post marketing and targeting your audience and having direct connection with them, you know exactly which wallet address holds these fungibles or non-fungibles. So you can directly token gate access to special events, or, you know, airdrop specific things to those people. You cannot, like, you can't do that in the traditional system. This is truly going to change the game. So that's kind of where I'm living with this, and this is just the beginning. This is just streaming royalties for us right now, and this is just serialized releases. We haven't gotten into mechanical rights. We haven't gotten into terrestrial, to sync, to master rights. All of those have much more, quote, perceived value. And so I see a world where musicians token gate access and say, hey, you want to own part of my master? You got to have piece of ownership of all these other types of IP to get access to unlock the next level of ownership. And that can start by buying my serialized single to get access to be able to get to the IP streaming tokens, to get access to, and you can see how this is going to start to evolve. And now you're going to have real fans as opposed to just consumer fans, right? And that to me is just so cool. That's going to create this tiered level of, you get to be as dug in and as gung-ho about this artist as you want to be. And the farther you go, the more equivalent it becomes. Their success is equated to your success potentially too, maybe, you know. So there's an entire world where that lives, and I'm ready for the day when I don't need a distributor, I don't need a publisher, and I don't need a label if I so choose. Right? That's what I want. I want choice, and I want both of those choices. If you choose to go the traditional route, or if you choose to go to the independent route, I want both of those choices to still be a viable option, to where I can do just my art and not have to do something supplemental because I chose not to maybe quote fit into the traditional narrative of what that label or what that industry thinks is going to sell right now, you know. So that's my spiel.
Ryan, you're making me extremely excited.
Yeah.
I mean, this is incredible. Victor, what do you have to say?
I mean, that's NEWM. Sorry, yeah, NEWM is like one of the projects I'm most bullish on. I tweet about you guys all the time. One of the most utility projects you guys have. I mean, I can definitely see the vision that you guys have there, and you guys are already doing it. You know, so it's just that it's baby stage, just like we talked about earlier. Nmaker is still just barely walking. You guys are just maybe 1 year younger than us, you know, and then like we're just working together to, you know, just make this beautiful thing that's going to be amazing.
I'm so excited because of the product that we've all launched together. Look, me personally, as an artist, serialized releases are not my thing. They're just not, and I've always been upfront with that. However, that doesn't diminish the fact that there's an appetite for it, and there's an appetite both from the consumer side and from artists. Certain artists really like to go that route. You know what? That's fine, because like we said at the end of the day, it's all about choice, and
Exactly.
and that to me is the beauty of it. And this is offering that choice. So I just think that's really cool. And I heard you say this earlier, Patrick, about the subscription and token subscriptions and whatnot. And I think that's also going to change the game too. So that's it's all coming together slowly but surely. And I don't know about you guys. What do you think about this? I do have a question. For me, I find that part of my job is it's to paint a vision, but then it's also to help people to adjust expectations, because I think so many times people in the crypto space are like, they see the future of the tech, but they don't. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't think it necessarily makes sense in their brain that, wait, okay, here's the future, but that future is years away, or it's 3 years away. It's not 3 months away for certain things. Like for us, because a lot of this, there's a lot of legal. There's a lot of legal imprecedents and the entrenchment of the traditional systems that have no impetus to embrace this without a really good B2B. Oh, this makes sense from a business standpoint, so let's let it live. You know what I mean? So that's where I feel like, for me, there's a balancing act in the crypto space. What do you guys think about that?
I completely agree. I mean, that's exactly the difficulty that we have. You know, we want to have perfect user experience. We want to be able to onboard people. We want to be able to launch millions of NFTs in seconds. But some of this kind of stuff is not possible right now, and we always have to push the technical boundaries, but also, you know, manage expectations and kind of balance all these different things out. But you know, that in the end, the opportunity that crypto presents is bigger than anything that we any obstacles that we are facing. And also to get back to NEWM, the one thing that really excites me about NEWM is actually not the project, it's not the music, it's the team. Because for real, I've met so many people in the team now, and I work very closely with you know, many of the people also for the record store release, of course, and especially Florian. I mean, I have a call with Florian every week, and they're all so passionate. You will not find another team in crypto that is as passionate as the Project NEWM team. Maybe, you know, Nmaker, but besides Nmaker, there's no other team. And that's really exciting, because that really shows me, okay, your team believes in this vision, and your team is willing to do whatever it takes to make this vision come true. And I'm all there for it. And I'm very excited for what we're building together with the record store. collectibles for musicians play a very important role. And I think this partnership is only the beginning. It's only one thing that we're releasing now, and this will only grow over time, equally as the record store. Of course, like what we launched has very limited features. It doesn't look perfect yet, and all this kind of stuff. But as we've seen previously, and I think, Ryan, you were in a call at that time, but we've seen like a roadmap from Fahim of where the stores are going, and it's going to be amazing. And it's only the first step that we've taken, and it's about shipping things, giving it to the community, hearing what the community has to say, and iterating, and releasing, and so on. So I'm very excited.
I'm with you on that, and knowing where we're going with the record store, and then also knowing where we're going with the release of our artist portal and subsequent market for the streaming royalty tokens, because those have to look different. It's a different type of marketplace, right? Than put something up for sale. It's going to have to look different, and we're going to have to facilitate bundle things and all the stuff. Knowing how that's going to integrate with this, I'm just so excited, because it's going to create this suite of tools for people to use, and that to me is just we're empowering people. That's what it is. Like Nito sold out, right? Like he sold out his collection in less than 24 hours. And then what people don't realize too is that, look, you said it, but this marketplace, it's an aggregator. We will always have more music products than any other marketplace on Cardano, because that is what we do. That's what it's there for. It is strictly for music. That to me that's a powerful narrative. And then you have musicians that are driving traffic to it. I can tell you our marketing team was just like floored because of the engagement metrics for this month, based off of everything going on with the marketplace, with the record store. I don't want to call it a marketplace. I'm going to call it the record store. Everybody knows it's a record store. Right. It's not just a marketplace. That's we don't do JPEGs and stuff there. It's a music place. It's a place to go and find your music. To me, things are going to come alive, and I'm really, really excited about Q2 and Q3, like, because like for us, alpha, internal, and then beta testers. I can tell you, anybody that I've shown, a couple of musicians that I've shown what their artist portal is going to look like when they interact with this, and how they without talking to us can go and distribute their music, and then choose who owns what, choose how much they want to sell. They literally went, holy, this is amazing, like knowing that's coming, and then knowing they can go and have a curated marketplace that they're not going to find crap. They're gonna find this is curated music. We put our stamp of approval on it through Jimmy, right, with Six City. That's quality control, coupled with everybody gets to it's open for people to use, right? So that's to me, that's a really cool balance. And I think I don't know, one of our ethoses at NEWM is decentralization for decentralization's sake is not a good excuse. Everything we do is open source. We know that we want to eventually decentralize everything. However, we're not going to do that to the detriment of the end user experience, right? And I think both Nmaker and NEWM, I think one of the things we're both in agreement on and alignment on is that our target audience is not crypto people. Our target audience is mass adoption and the non-crypto folk, right? And if there is a forward-facing consumer product that we have to keep in mind of everything that we do. And so, that to me is, I think, part of the key to success in this space. And I think that's one of the reasons why I feel, I'm a little biased, but I do feel pretty confident in our ability to deliver, because we do, right? We have a track record. We put out good stuff and it works. And same goes for you guys. And that's why I think, it's really cool that we connected 3 years ago. And here we are now, which that is just, there's a lot of life has happened since then. So it's kind of flown by. So I'm super proud of you guys. So Patrick, I can always appreciate how much hard work you do and how much crap you put up with. and you still keep on doing it. I mean, I remember you weren't even finished with school yet, and you were. I mean, you know, it was part of your research project. That's like,
it's crazy, unbelievable.
It's
I can't imagine. So much stuff has happened. Pritesh is married. We're here. It's so much. My mind is blown.
I know. And we met for the first time just this past year at CNFTCon in Vegas. So
unbelievable.
It's amazing.
Actually, Ryan, do you know how big the largest music marketplace on Ethereum is? Because I feel like if we could reach that size, probably very quickly with the record store.
We will. And here's the thing.
We should watch that statistic.
We should. And I will tell you, at least on ETH, actually there is, to my knowledge, there is a company that they have an app. It's a bad user experience, but
Audience?
Yeah, there you
go.
No,
sucks. Sorry.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
It wasn't. I I was like this just sounds cool, but when you like mess with it, I was like, this is not it. Like
it's not it. Yeah. Like this is not the way. So to your answer, there actually isn't a dedicated music marketplace on ETH, and so that you have the OpenSeas, but that's it, and that's a whole Pandora's box to unpack that we don't have time to right now, right? So I truly believe that, I know you with gaming, but I really believe music is going to be one of the things that drives mass adoption for the use case for Cardano. I am a firm believer that that's going to be the case. And the appetite's there from the artists and musicians, and people forget that the commercialization of music, and people, when I say commercialized music, people go, what do you mean? Whenever you listen to music on the radio and you see people joke, they go, that sounds kind of similar, it kind of sounds the same, or people joke and say it's the same 4 chords. Well, here's how this works. Labels / the industry, when I mean the industry, I mean like the big 3, right? Warner, Sony, Universal, they have algorithms that tell them, okay, we have these artists that are in these genres. Here's their sales metrics. Okay, we know this works. So if we're going to be filling our roster like a team, right? And we know this artist is the life cycle for an artist is 7 years. If they haven't peaked, whatever their numbers are at the end of 7 years, typically that's where they peak, and at that point they coast out of obscurity. But basically they go, okay, well that worked. Well, so we know this works, then we're gonna make sure we get somebody to fill that slot again. And typically what that means is that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of, oh, well, people they listen to this a lot, so we're just going to keep creating more music that sounds like this because we know it gets listened, right? And so that's how you've kind of had this systematic diminishment of quality of music on a lot of things. And so, that there is an appetite for artists to want to not have to fit the mold. They don't want to have to, quote, sell their soul to make a buck. And by sell their soul, they mean sacrifice their musical ideas to be able to fit the commercial fingerprint of, oh, it's really nothing about your music. The music is the last thing in the equation that makes money. It's the merchandise and tours, which is mind-bogglingly, it's like, that's bizarre if you think about it. Like, it is the music industry, not the entertainment industry, that happens to do music, right? And so we're going to be able to see a paradigm shift back to the art through NFTs and fundables. I'm a firm believer that's going to happen. So just as a spiel.
Yeah, it's a real way to, like, the way you guys are doing it, it's a way to elevate these artists, through funding and, bring them to the light and, like, just have a real fan base. Because these underground artists, they're kind of, like you said, reliant on these studios to really make a living. But if they can really get their fans to get behind them and, have like a system where everyone benefits, I think it's a great way to go at it.
One of our ambassadors, Mikey, with Abyss Beats, he said it best. He said, do you realize when you choose to purchase streaming royalty income, stream tokens, that is so much more personal than buying my CD. He was like, that's you showing me that you believe in me, not just that one piece of music. He was like, that's so much more personal. And for me as an artist, I feel so much more beholden to you to live up to that. And people, when people get it, when consumers get what that product actually is and what that looks like, that's going to be a light bulb moment. And it's our job as NEWM to help make that in a basically a consumable bite-sized chunk of, oh, this is what this is, right? There's that educational component to it. And I think with our marketing team, we can do that in spades, but that's a part of the equation. And I think anybody in the crypto space, you have to understand that you have to educate people, and it's not by giving them a lot of information. It's about giving it to them in bite sizes that they can understand and relate to. And I think that's a key to success in just this new industry that we're finding ourselves in, you know? So I'm going to stop talking now because I've spoken a lot. But again, happy birthday. This is so awesome.
It is, and you're very good at talking, so I always like listening. But yeah, I also don't want to have you sit in your car for much longer. I think you should probably drive home at this point. But yeah, Ryan, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for going on this journey with us together. I'm extremely excited for the record store and where we're headed. And I think, let's onboard the next million users to Cardano. It's time.
Yeah.
Well, I always say this, and I think you agree. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Very poetic.
I leave you both with that. For all the Nmaker fam, I'm happy to be a part of it. This is awesome. Patrick, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do in the coming months. I think it's going to be really important for the space. And thank you. So happy birthday, guys.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Cool. That was very cool.
Yeah, Ryan's great, man, and I have so many questions for him too, because I've mentioned to you, I have a few artist friends who I don't know. I'm not like an expert in NEWM, so when I try to explain like the royalties and stuff, I'd love to pick Ryan's brain a bit more to kind of explain to them, and like he said, in bite-sized pieces so they can understand it better. Yeah, and these are independent artists that are they're trying to make something of themselves. So and they're very hesitant from what I've told them, because people are just so untrusting of like technology, and like this whole like NFT is such a bad rap, and as soon as they hear NFT, they just like, I don't know about that, and they start thinking about monkey pics and stuff like that. So yeah,
I agree. I think maybe we should do more with Ryan, have like a Twitter space or so where you can ask him all the questions, and in general, he's living this like music tokenization life. So he knows everything. It's crazy. And it's like us, if I could talk about Nmaker for like hours and hours and hours, but for him, it's the same with music and tokenization and streaming rights and all this kind of stuff. And it's like a whole new world for some of us. So it's huge. And I mean, also, let me tell you about the struggles that I've been having with the stream, because like at some point in the middle of the stream, my monitor started flickering. And it's so, I don't know if you can see it, but
I saw it earlier. It's fine now. It's fine now.
It's so bad. My eyes hurt so much because it just doesn't stop. It's like really, really bad.
Oh, so your screen is flickering that you're looking at.
Like
that sucks.
Yeah, but
you're gonna have a seizure.
Maybe, but I would say let's go over to the Q&A and answer some questions, and then we're almost at the end. Anyways.
Do you want to fix your flickering screen, or try?
I can't fix it. I tried already, so we're just gonna go with it.
All right.
It is what it is.
Oh, but I just wanted to comment really quick. Music is I mean, I'm going to say this is cliche, but everyone loves music. So like we've talked about this stores and how you're able to be a curator for your own store. So if I wanted to launch my own music store, if I have a certain taste that other than new, or what's his name, Six Cities taste, like he picks the artist launching with him, and let's say I want to, you can see all these things that are minting, that are happening. You can search people's names and like, hey, I want to be a curator myself. So curate my own music page, and then those artists will get their royalties, and I'll get like a fee from being the curator essentially. So if people, that I'm really looking forward to people messing around with that. That'd be really interesting.
I completely agree, and I think that's going to be very interesting to observe. I think I'm in general looking forward to having just thousands of marketplaces out there.
Yeah.
So let's get to the questions. I just picked a random one up here from Frog Dog. What engine is Rogue Galaxies built on? So Rogue Galaxies is built on the Unreal Engine 5. So I know that Yves and Robin have a lot of experience with Unity and are big Unity fans in general as well. But in this case, they wanted to work with the Unreal Engine. Then another question that I see, I think only I can highlight the questions. Can I, or can you do that too? Doesn't matter.
I actually don't think I can.
Okay. So Andre asked, can you talk about the amazing partnerships that Nmaker has made existing and new? Yeah, one of the crazy things is when I started this whole journey with Nmaker back in the day, was that we were able to form partnerships with so many amazing companies and people. And I didn't really expect that at the beginning, but truly the people that you meet on your way and when creating something is astonishing. So we worked with Wolfram Alpha back in the day, which I think is one of the coolest companies in the world. We work, of course, closely with IOHK, with SeaWorld. We worked with the Cardano Foundation a lot. We recently partnered with the UN. Who would have thought that we're going to partner with the UN at some point to launch NFTs for refugees? We partnered with movie stars like Martin Lawrence. We have a lot of musicians who launch with Nmaker, and a lot of really cool partnerships. And for us, as I keep mentioning, the most important thing is to build use cases with NFTs that actually make sense, where NFTs actually are really useful. And that can be community building, that can also be digital rights management for content and stuff like that. So we try to partner with projects specifically that can help us enable new and cool use cases for NFTs. So my favorite partnership, of course, is Big Book IO. I love that project. I think it's amazing, and the team is incredible. So I'm super excited for that. Also Project NEWM, of course, as we just talked about, and many more that are coming in the next months. I can't really tell you before we signed the partnership agreement with most of them, but we are in talks with so many cool companies and just artists in general. So yeah, very, very exciting times ahead of us. Any plans to partner with Paima? Right now, we don't have plans to partner with Paima. We are very close with Nico and Sebastian from DC Spark. Mm-hmm. Nico and Sebastian are actually both advisors to Nmaker. So yeah, we have really good relationships with them. I'm a big fan of DC Spark and Paima, and they're doing amazing work. So yeah.
Super bullish on Paima. I'm always tweeting about them, and chatted with Sebastian recently, or whoever it was on the Paima. But yeah, anything's possible. I'm sure we're open to partnerships in the future. But it's definitely all about like what's the use case we're going to do for it, and a lot of conversation in between to create those use cases. So.
Exactly. Another question from Harvey is, will the game be playable on all devices? It will only be playable at the beginning, I believe, on PC, and then later on, we'll see.
PC master race. Just had to say that. No, I just honestly, like, I'm a newly PC lover, to be honest. Yeah, games are way more accessible on PC, in my opinion.
Cool. So another question from Alphonse about NEWM. So how big is the NEWM team? And I can tell you the NEWM team is incredibly big, and I don't know how they do it, but if you go to their website, like NEWM.io, it's like, I don't know, 40 people on there. So a lot of people are working for NEWM. What else do we have down here? So yeah, feel free to write questions in the chat right now. It's the Q&A section. One question from Matthew, and Matthew about Nmaker and Rogue Galaxies and the relationship between the two. So essentially, Rogue Galaxies is an official Nmaker Games game, and Nmaker Games is a subsidiary of Nmaker. So it's basically like a spin-off, I would say. It is separate because the teams are pretty separate. I'm not really involved in developing Rogue Galaxies. Yves is the lead, and there's like a whole team just building Rogue Galaxies. But it's not a partnership, it's a real Nmaker product in the end. Do we have any other questions, Victor, that I missed?
I can check the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I'm on the
I don't
chat
think so.
as well.
How do you bring more musicians is the question here. I think you just kind of covered that. I'm not sure, but I guess that'd be up to NEWM and Six City to do that. Just making the onboarding process as easy as possible. If you guys want to check out the record store, there's a button there where you can apply to get your music listed. But music is not our expertise, so it's not really something we're focused on. We're mostly focused on onboarding people to NFTs and creating the use case and showing them how to use NFTs.
Charles asked, is anyone from Rogue reaching out to Reflect? Yes, we actually had a call with Josh, and we've been working very, very closely with Josh for quite a while, with Nmaker in general, so we always reach out to them. For us right now, the game plan is kind of to build something, build the demo, build the slice, and show off to the world like what we're capable of, because I think this is incredible and we really are delivering something. And then once we have that, we will go the next steps, and the next steps could involve talking to Reflect and saying, look, do you want to maybe take ownership of this IP and invest into it, or also going to the community saying, maybe do we want to reopen the mint, do we want to do like a Kickstarter kind of event to continue development, something like that. It's not really decided yet, but the communication channels are all open.
Yeah, I kind of want to chime in, but I know your screen is flickering. I don't know how much longer you want to keep going.
Oh no, go ahead, chime in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much studying you've done with Fahim and the stateful NFTs. Do you ever see that playing a part in Rogue Galaxies in some way? Because I think that's the future, to be honest.
I think it's really cool technology. I think it doesn't make sense for the earliest stage of Rogue Galaxies, because right now what we're building is basically just a demo, and you're not really interacting with the actual blockchain that much, except for DRM, like digital rights management, that you have access to the game. But once we get to the point, if we get to the point, and we hopefully will, where you can actually use your own NFTs and you can, upgrade the spaceships, customize them, and so on. That's where it really gets interesting, and that's where Galaxies might, use it.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, will the Nmaker token be used for Rogue Galaxies or have its own native token? We don't have any plans to have a native token for Rogue Galaxies. We in general don't really believe in issuing a token that doesn't really have a use case. So if there's a token, I don't know, maybe the Nmaker token, maybe another token. Hard to say at this point.
I think it's hard to say, but I think it'd be weird if the Nmaker token would have use cases not really on the brand of Rogue Galaxies, but that's something for the future, because like you said, we're not even there yet. So that's a good question, though.
For us, the reality is we have to keep Rogue Galaxies alive. That's the number one priority. Okay, what else do we have? Which wallet is best for music NFTs? I have a pretty clear answer on that. What do you think, Victor?
Yeah, I know one. The best one I think is the antlers. I don't know why I'm blanking out on right now. This is Sean's project. Giro wallet. Sorry.
Giro wallet. Yeah, exactly.
Sean. Yeah. Talk to Sean all the time. Anyways, I just had a blank. So many wallets now. So.
No, Giro wallet is great for music, and I know they have been planning some stuff to make it even better. So I'm very excited for Giro wallet.
Yeah, and in Giro wallet, Sean we just found out that he's on the NEWM team.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't know if that was public or not, but I mean, it is now. Now he's an amazing UI developer, and they just have an amazing team. So pretty cool, pretty bullish. And Andrew's on there, Westberg. So
Andrew, it's crazy that they got Andrew as a CTO. He's like brilliant.
One of the best we have in the space. So pretty cool.
Do you have a favorite memory from Nmaker's history, Victor?
Me specifically, man, I don't know if I can go into my mind and think about all the things that have happened. I mean,
I have a memory with you and your girlfriend and Fahim.
My girlfriend, my wife of almost 10 years.
Wife, yeah. It's the same thing. I'm so young, and you're so young as well. So like for us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So people get that confused. I think I was literally thinking about that the other day. When I was in the store, I was like, sometimes I go out without my ring and with my wife, of course. And then and I was like, damn, I bet when they see me and my wife, like they probably just think we're boyfriend and girlfriend because we're like so young.
They think you're like a teenage couple.
Exactly. Yeah, teenage couple, and it's like whatever. That's why I keep my beard. If I shave my beard, I definitely look a lot younger, which is fine.
So do you have
memory? Oh, but what was your memory though? You never actually said what your memory was.
Oh yeah. So I was just thinking about the time when we were in your hotel room and eating something. Do you remember?
Oh no, we were hanging out. I don't remember what we were eating, but
we were eating something and it was very fun. And and I remember that Fahim was like mocking you for something. It's very vague, but it was very fun.
we were all just chilling on the bed talking and stuff. And I mean, anytime you hang out with me is a good memory. Come on.
True. That's
no, but I guess I can share my memory. I mean, I don't have a specific memory, but I mean, just overall, just like I guess the friendships we've built, just working on Nmaker. Like I've gotten pretty close with the team members. Phil, we talk like all the time. Patrick, Fahim, who have never really met until like recently, like last year at NFT Con, and super nice guy. So it's just been a great experience meeting new people from across the world. Like, all my coworkers are like, they're like all German, and it's super cool. Like,
True.
I don't think I've ever met a German in my life except for like one German who was like my uncle's girlfriend, and that was it.
The weirdest thing is that I've met you multiple times. Fahim has met you. Almost everyone has met you, but we still all haven't met Phil. Like none of us have ever met Phil in real life, which
and he's like one of the biggest key parts to Nmaker, just like the amount of work that he handles and the support. He's like the support for Nmaker. Like, it's, I mean, along with all the devs and everyone plays a key role, but he's a powerhouse for sure.
He definitely is, and he's just traveling the world with his van. And
Phil,
I don't even know where he is.
He said, "I am not a real person. He's a robot. AI. True. He's actually an AI."
Cool. Do we have any other questions? Do you see anything?
Some guy said, "Do you guys enjoy the poker scene?" That's such a random question. I don't. No, I don't gamble. I don't play poker. I used to play Texas Hold'em when I was younger. I enjoy Texas Hold'em. It's a real thinking skill game. I love that when you have to strategize and bluff people out. I don't know if Patrick's ever played Texas Hold'em. It's super fun. We should play sometime.
We should. It's not really a question. It's more like a very weird statement in a little bit of strange English, but basically he's talking about Rogue Galaxies #1 because I just mentioned that. I mentioned to me the most important thing with Nmaker games and Rogue Galaxies specifically is to keep Rogue Galaxies alive. I did not say that Rogue Galaxies is the #1 priority for Nmaker overall, because it isn't. It cannot be. It's a side project, and Nmaker is a tool that is used by thousands of people and has millions of NFTs minted. So of course, Nmaker Studio, the white label marketplace, the minting, that's the #1 priority. Seaplanes, the seaplanes are very important, of course, as well. We have the ISPO running. The it's running. The vesting phase isn't really over yet, so there's no way to redeem your tokens yet because the vesting phase simply isn't over yet. But once it's over, you are able to basically redeem your tokens. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, with the whole SaaS token and the access NFT that you will get from that, you will be able to unlock new features and tools in the Nmaker ecosystem, which I think is extremely exciting and kind of our spin on actually, the whole subscription SaaS model. So that of course is extremely important. There are a lot of moving parts and there are a lot of things to develop. And unfortunately, we only have a certain amount of team members and we only have a certain amount of time. So sometimes things take longer than we want them to take. But in general, we've always kept our promises and we've always delivered on the stuff. Things shift. Obviously, at the beginning, we didn't plan to build Nmaker Studio, but we realized, okay, there's a demand for it, so we shifted into that direction, and we will always do that because that's how a startup works, and that's how we need to act to be successful and profitable. But in general, the goals never change. We want to make NFTs accessible. We believe in NFTs. We believe in making NFTs as what do you call it? As using them for tools for ownership in the 21st century, and that's basically what we focus on. And everything that we do is geared towards that outcome.
Yeah, I actually see that being like a trend or the future where staking and token staking is actually what's going to give people like things, right? Like just like how we're doing now, like either it's with their streaming service, hey, maybe some Netflix or streaming service in the future will be like, hey, stake your Netflix tokens, and lock them up and you'll get free streaming for up to just like how we're doing now with SAS for 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. And I don't know, I think that's probably what's going to end up looking like, or an NFT or staking your NFT or whatever you want. Basically keeping liquidity into the company, basically, or it's whatever.
Yeah, whatever it makes sense, And while you are doing a giveaway in the chat here, I'm gonna answer this last question from Andre. So he asked about how will Nmaker benefit from Hydra? Does it create new use cases? The entire Nmaker team is amazing. Thank you very much. #1 project. Happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you for being part of the community. So Hydra is a very interesting solution because Hydra works very differently from what people expect. And it's quite complicated to wrap your head around, but essentially it's not great for every single thing that a layer 2, for example, would be good at. So Hydra does not make a lot of sense for minting, from my understanding. Hydra does make a lot of sense, though, for direct interactions between a small amount of actors. So if you want to do a lot of bidding between 2 people or 10 people or so, you can use Hydra for that, and you can basically make it very quickly and very efficiently. So that's where Hydra comes in. For minting itself, it will not come in, but I suspect that Hydra will play a major role in the secondary marketplaces. Phil has turned a very strange manual into a really understandable one. I completely agree.
Yeah. Phil's the best. And it's just getting better and better, and we'll drop more snippets of tutorials to make it easier for you guys. But we have one more Nmaker SPO seaplane to give away. So someone please drop your Twitter handle. And basically what this does is it increases the percentage of Nmaker tokens that you'll get when you're staking to the Nmaker pool. So I think it's by 0.1 per SPO NFT, and if you can collect them, they're also stackable, so you can increase the amount of percentage. I don't know if there's a limit. I don't know how high the percent will go to, 10% or something like that. There's no limits. You can stack as many SPO seaplanes as you want, and I think they're going for 60 ADA. So these are valued. Oh, that's the last one right there. So they're valued at 60 ADA a piece. So you guys will get a free one. So this is the last Persian Studio Malacca. Sorry guys, it's a little bit late. I thought you guys saw it earlier. So yeah, the Nmaker SPO seaplanes are all given away now. Thanks for participating. oh yeah, I'll DM you guys the top 5, the first 5. What do you guys your addresses basically for your address?
Perfect. I think the flickering is getting to an absurd level, so I think we need to to end it here. Yeah, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you for being part of Nmaker. It's extremely exciting to be here after 2 years, and I'm extremely proud of the team and everything that we accomplished together. And it's only the beginning. We are going to build so much more stuff, and we're going to onboard so many more people to the space and just create value through NFTs. So yeah, thank you very much. And Victor, you have the last words.
Yeah, this was really fun. We should do more of these just to talk to the community. I know I talked to Patrick recently. I wanted to do some live streams of Nmaker Studio, just like a easy tutorial for entry users. Nothing like high level, but I think if you guys want high level stuff, we can probably get Phil here, probably not anytime soon. But I'm also learning the metadata stuff with you guys. I'm learning as I go. I'm more on the marketing and social media side, but I've minted a few products here and there, so it's not really that hard at all. Nmaker Studio is a lot more easier than some of you guys might think. And as soon as you guys just jump in and start messing around, we have all the tutorials on YouTube. We have documentation, and then once you guys start playing with it, you guys will realize, like, man, this is a great product. And I tell this Patrick all the time, like, man, it's really developing to something really amazing, and I can kind of envision what it's going to be like in the future. So I'm excited. I just want to thank you guys for showing up here and enjoying this birthday live stream with us and giving all your questions. And I saw some of you guys saying that the giveaway was rigged, but it was not. I didn't. You guys must have not seen it, but I just put it in the chat. And if you guys can see, there's a little sticker on my head there. Anyways, but no, I don't have any last words. This is it's been an amazing ride, man. It's and we're still going. And I think we're already in a year, halfway. We've already done so much this year, and I think going into next year, it's going to be, like I just tweeted this too, 10 times better than it is now. And I see more integrations. I see people integrating this maybe into their games in the future, of just being in the back end and just people minting very seamlessly through whatever app they have and being powered by Nmaker. Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. Last words. Cool. See you soon.
Bye, guys.